welcome to my channel. I haven't done new videos for a while. Was busy with work projects and home remodeling, and of course we are now in the hottest time of the year and not too many violets are blooming right now. Many need to be repotted, so it's a work in progress. But I did manage to pull together a few that are in bloom right now or just beginning to bloom. So in this video, I will show you a few standard varieties or small standards. And then in the next episode, I will show the miniatures and semi-miniatures. So these two that I first wanted to show you are the wasp varieties. They have unique shaped leaves that are called bustleback leaves because of this section of the leaf here on the reverse, and they don't look like leaves of African violets in any other varieties. And I have two small standards. Sometimes I've seen the blue one listed as a semi-miniature and sometimes as a small standard. It's called Blue Tail Fly by Jim Dates. And then this one is called Gecko's Angelic Vespa, and it has pink blush colored blooms, very delicate. Now here is RS-Aquamarine. This is a standard by Repkina with full blooms. It just starts opening up in this blooming cycle. I am not certain if this one is a keeper for me because it hasn't been easy to grow, and the blooms, when they fully open up, they get so heavy that the bloom stalks cannot hold them upright and they just keep on dropping down. And also it has a tendency of yellowing the older leaves, and I have to constantly watch out to remove the leaves that get old very fast. This one is one of my favorite Ukrainian hybrids. It's called LE-Sirenevyi Dozhd or Lilac Crane. That's what Sirenevyi Dozhd translates to from the native language. This is a variegated variety with very full double frilled lavender blooms with some purple fantasy. Sometimes you can see it, sometimes it's not present, but it's really strong, vigorous growers. You can see here, even in the hot season, it is still going strong. And these blooms that you see are the last blooms in the very prolific blooming cycle that it just had recently. This one is DEO-Martsipan, one of my favorite cream colored blooms, also finishing up the blooming cycle. The blooms do look like marzipan roses with creamy blush, very faint blush cream color. It also a prolific bloomer, and what I like about light colored blooms is that the varieties that have the light colored blooms, I like them to have dark green foliage to create this striking contrast for the background. Here is another favorite of mine, Anthoflores Edith. This one has a shorts feature on my channel. It's famous for its watercolor effect on the bicolored blooms or tricolor blooms with white, a light lavender, and then dark lavender or dark lilac stripe around the light lavender thumbprint. Here is another favorite by Elena Lebedska. This one is called LE-Sedoi Graf. It translates to LE Greyhair Duke or Greyhair Count. I've seen it translated both ways. This is really another magnificent hybrid by this hybridizer with variegated foliage, and the only one that I know to have the gray shade in the blooms. I know there are newer hybrids by other hybridizers also with some gray in the bloom color, but this one I think was the first one to have this gray shade in the blooms as they mature, When they just opened up, they're darker in color with some purple in them, but as they mature and the color fades, they become kind of lavender, pale lavender gray with very frilled green edge around them. Here is another reliable hybrid. This one is by Pat Hancock, Buckeye Seductress, a favorite of many, and it grows nicely even in the hot growing season. Of course, the temperature in my growing environment doesn't exceed 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Usually in the summer I try keeping it 79 maximum, but still many hybrids cannot tolerate even the warm temperature as warm as 79, and many of them, just like this one, they kind of start yellowing the leaves. But Buckeye Seductress always delivers. Now here is Emilie Savage. This is one of the vintage varieties, just beginning to bloom. I love it for the ruffled foliage with red reverse and beautiful kind of lavender colored blooms with some frilled edge. I'm very particular somehow about the frilled edge. I don't know why, but I just love it for that. Now here is a hybrid by Ken Stork called Blackhawk. I haven't seen it much in the African violet grower communities, and I love it in particular because it grows very powerfully. It's not a large variety, it's a standard variety in the description, but I like it because it kind of grows very vigorously with very strong dark green powerful foliage with Tommy Lou variegation around the leaves, and kind of like a dark plum color that when they just open up, they're very dark and then they kind of start becoming lighter in color. When the young blooms just open up, because of the dark plum shade and the unique shape of the petals, they do look like a flying black hawk. Here is a standard variety by Hal Camp called Optimara Yosemite with Roman numeral 2. It was recently repotted and just beginning its next blooming cycle. This one is just a starter plant and it's already in full bloom. This one is called RM-Aromat Leta. It translates in different ways. I've seen it translated as RM Scent of Summer and RM Fragrance of Summer. This variety has star-shaped coral blooms with a thumbprint, so they have white center and main color is coral, and the edges are fluted on the blooms. This one is a no ID variety that I keep, one of the few ones that I keep that are no named varieties. I like it because of the special color on the blooms that kind of transitions from light lilac to dark lilac, and the unique shape of the blooms that are double, and it's a very good bloomer. And finally here, it's a standard variety called Evening's Descent by Paul Serrano and Linden Lion Greenhouses. And I got this one from the native greenhouse from Linden Lion. This one is finishing its blooming cycle. It has very dark purple color blooms with dark raspberry edge and some pink puff fantasy on the petals.